everyone, it's Donna from Donna's Corn-Free Cooking, and it's nice to be back with you. I've been away for a while. Everything's been kind of crazy, so I had to put off doing any more videos for a little bit. So today what I'm sharing with you is another corn-free recipe that I do, and it's perfect for the summertime. You can do it any time of year, but it's more expensive because you're making a blueberry pie today. So I'm going to get started. I have my board set up here to roll my dough out, and I'm using my sweet pastry dough that in reality I made when I did the video on pastry dough and pecan pie. Sorry. So today I've got it all thawed out, and I'm going to roll this out and put it in the I think it's a 9 to 10 inch pie plate. And I've already got my blueberries mixed with the cinnamon, sugar, and flour that will thicken it. And so we'll just get started. Now this pie goes really, really well. And it's one of my favorites. When we lived up in Washington State, where we lived at, we had like 6 blueberry bushes, I think. And so we were fortunate to have tons of blueberries every summer. And at first, because I was used to just buying a pint in a store or whatever, I didn't know what to do with them. So I figured out a recipe to make blueberry pie, first of all, which we are doing today. And then I decided to freeze some. But then I figured out, you know, the one thing I've never seen in the store that I would love to see and taste was blueberry jam. So I took and made blueberry jam out of it. I made about 10 little half pints. It didn't even last a month. It was so good. I was giving it to friends. My husband couldn't quit eating it. He loved it so much. And so it was a real experience to be able to have the ability to learn something new to do with fruit. Now I don't know how this crust is going to come out because it's already fallen apart on me. So I've had it frozen since I made it for the one video, and I used one last week and made a chocolate pie, which was really, I found the recipe from another YouTube channel, and I thought, this is interesting. But being allergic to corn, you got to be careful when you get other recipes like that. So I tried it, and it's made with cocoa, and I figured out, you know, it'd be interesting to add chocolate chips, just milk chocolate chips on top to see how it would come out. It was quite good, and it didn't last 2 days, so it'd be a good pie to make to take and give to someone as a gift. Because it cuts, the pastry I used was this specific pastry here. And this pastry actually is very, very flaky, which is probably why I'm having so much trouble rolling it out. But it is a very, very flaky pastry. Okay. Now I've got it about the size I need. I just got to keep it from tearing. So what I'm going to do, it's going to tear on me anyway. But you know what? I'll just put it in and see what we get. because even if it tears, I'll just fix it. I don't do pies that much, but when I do, I try to make sure I do them the way I've seen pie artists do them. And I call them pie artists for the simple fact that they've been doing it for so many years and they know all the tricks of how to get it to roll out perfect, not fall apart, just as I have today. And of course, because I'm doing this video, when I rolled out the first dough for my chocolate pie, that thing rolled out perfect. Not videotaping it. So simply because I wanted to do a video today, it's decided it's just going to fall flat apart, but I'm going to do my best to fix it and get it filled and a top on. Hopefully the top will come out better. I would have thought this one would, because it was so much bigger than the other disc I have over there, but maybe not. Maybe that's why I'm having so much trouble with it. Okay, because what you want with a blueberry pie, you don't want it leaking in the oven. And I generally always put them on a cookie sheet to bake them anyway, because inevitably, I don't care how tight you seal it, you're going to end up with some blueberry juice in the bottom of the stove if you don't have it on a cookie sheet. So let's see here, it's coming together. I'm just having to work with my fingers on it. It may almost be a deconstructed pie. I don't know, but we'll see. I'm trying to get the dough up in here and mold it in. We'll see how it works. As long as it's nice and done and rich, I think that's what the important thing is. If I was doing, oh, say a pie contest, or doing it for to give to someone, I'd want to redo it. But because it's for my husband, he doesn't care. So we'll see what we get here. Actually, I've almost got it in there just right. I'm getting those edges filled in, and hopefully it will do what I want. Okay. Oops. Got a thin edge there that wants to break. Let's not lose that. That would be horrible. Okay, there we go. Now that's better. Still doesn't look exactly perfect. And we'll get the top on and see how it does. Hopefully the top will roll out way better, because it doesn't have to be as big, for one, because it's not sloping into the dish. And now for the berries. Now to these berries I have, just about half a cup of granulated pure cane sugar. I've got about a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, the juice of 1 lemon. Now the recipe that I use, it calls for a tablespoon of lemon zest as well, but I'm not crazy about lemon zest, so I just use 2 tablespoons, or the juice of 1 lemon without the seeds, and mix that all together. And I don't know if I said, but you add to the sugar and cinnamon, you add a 1/4 cup of regular flour. And That is your thickening agent. Being allergic to corn, you don't use cornstarch or anything like that because of what it's made from. So I use flour or potato starch. And this particular recipe calls for flour. So now on top of this, I'm going to put 4 pats of butter, about that size, and lay them on top. And we'll see how this comes out. And the blueberries I used about 6 cups. You could use 8 cups depending on how big your pie pan is. And as I said, the ingredients are ½ cup of sugar, ¼ cup of flour, ½ teaspoon of cinnamon, and the juice of 1 lemon, or a tablespoon of lemon zest. Depends on your preference. Now I'm going to get ready and roll out the other one for the top, and we'll see how this goes. Hopefully it'll roll out a lot better. Sometimes you get one, it's thicker and you think it's going to be better to work with, and it's not. I have what they call very hot hands, and so if I hold it too long, I'll melt it because of the butter. But sometimes I have to shape it with my hands in order to get it to start rolling out right without breaking up. So we'll see how this goes. This recipe, like I said, is very, very easy. It's great for summer cookouts, get-togethers, whatever. I know blueberries get to be very popular this month and next month. So this is one of the ways you can do it and have a beautiful and delicious pie. Now, as I said before, because I wanted to videotape this, my other crust just decided to fall completely apart. I love my wooden rolling pans because they are so easy to use and they work really well. Okay, I'm going to move this around here, flip that over so I can do some more work. And I always go, when I'm rolling out dough, I try to go in a circular motion. That way you keep the circle diameter that you want rather than just rolling it out like a square or a rectangle. It's one of the ways I was taught to do crusts. It's the same way when you're doing cakes and you're doing fondant. You roll the dough out. If you've got a round cake and you're wanting to cover it in fondant, you've got to roll it out like this as well. So it's a good technique to know. Okay. Let's see how this is going to come out. And then sometimes I have to kind of go from the center out all the way around to make sure I get it the way I want it. And you know what? I think that's just about big enough. So what I'm going to do is roll this up on there. Put my pie plate back up here, then I'm going to lift it, and I lifted it just a hair too soon, but there it goes. And it did split just a tiny bit, like the other did. But that won't be a problem. Because what you want to do is kind of tuck the top underneath the edge of the bottom crust. And when you do that, it helps to seal it. And this is not going to be the prettiest crust I've ever done. But for time's sake, I'm trying to make this a quick video to show you so you can see how to do this on your own. Of course, the recipe will be down in the description. And I hope you guys will try it. And then leave me a comment on how yours turned out. After this video, while this pie is baking, and as soon as they're done, I'm going to do another short video on how I make my potato salad, and it's corn-free. So I hope you'll enjoy that. These are my two favorite things in the summer, is blueberry pie and potato salad. And I was so devastated when I developed this allergy, and there was no way I could use relish or anything in my potato salad, and I didn't eat it for a very long time. So now that I've tucked that, I'm going to finger press it to make it even tighter, and hopefully this pie will bake up gorgeous. One of the things you want to do when you're baking a pie, especially a covered pie, you want to be sure and put slits in the top so that steam can get out. Otherwise it could explode. I don't think any of us would want that, would we? Okay, this is great with homemade ice cream. And I did that the other day. I made 6 quarts of a beautiful butter pecan from scratch. And it just tastes absolutely wonderful. The only problem I had when I was eating it, I started having a reaction, and I realized a friend of mine had shopped for me and got heavy cream for me, and half and half. Well, some brands, they'll add a corn derivative to it. And I did not think to even read the packaging because I assumed it was just like the other brands I bought. But when I ate the ice cream, my nose, of course, got real congested and started swelling. And I knew that it was from the cream or something, half and half probably, because it was not the same brand I always get, which I know is safe. So it just goes to show you have to read your packaging, and I don't know what my brain was doing that I did not read it. But it still tastes really, really good. So this is a great dessert. Oh my goodness. Celebrate anything you want. Oh, that's sealed up nice for as bad as it looked. So let's see here. I'm making my slits. I do 4. And what they do is help the steam to come out. Now in this bowl, I've got some milk and an egg that I have whipped. And I'm going to take this brush, and I'm going to brush it all on the top of the crust as an egg wash, egg and milk wash, so it'll brown beautifully. And get this in the oven. Now you start baking this at 425 degrees for 20 minutes, and then you turn it down to 350. And I think you bake it for another 30 minutes, 30 or 40 minutes. I'll check to make sure of how long I do it. Having a convection oven, my baking times are a little different than what I have on my recipes that I do. So we'll see what happens. Just get this all nice and coated. Get all the crumbs off from the dough. Yeah. And I smell my potatoes over there cooking. They should be almost done. I wanted to time everything so I could do this, get the potatoes done while this is baking, and then show you the results. So guys, I'm going to put this in the oven at 425 for 20 minutes. Then I will turn the heat down to 350 and let it finish baking, and then I'll show you the finished result. Here's what it looks like before I put it in the oven. Looks much better than what it did at first. So we'll be back after a bit. Thanks, guys. Okay, everyone, as you can see, the pie is done. It's still way too hot to cut. So when it fully cools down, I will cut a slice of it and take a pic so that you guys can see it. So until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.